Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, November the 20th. I'm Clay Emo at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm a founding member of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. A lot of things I want to get to today, a lot of things going on with the Canucks, a lot of things going on around the league. So let's get right into it. But before I start, I want to give a shout out to my man, Armin. I met him after the Canucks game last night. Thank you, Armin, for stopping me to say hello. Thank you for watching these videos every day. I really appreciate your loyalty. And here's your shout out, and I hope I run into you at a future game. So thanks again, Armin. And there's actually 2 or 3 other people that I met, strangers who came up to me and said that they recognized me from YouTube or they've been watching the videos. So thanks. You know, it makes me feel like a mini celebrity. I know my lovely wife Gail just rolls her eyes and thinks that it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of cool. Not for the affirmation or for the recognition, but more importantly, the fact that you guys are taking the time to watch. So I appreciate that. I know you could be doing a lot of other things. So thanks again to Armin, and thanks to everyone else that I met last night. Really, really cool. Vancouver versus Winnipeg. I actually ran into about a dozen friends, different group, maybe 3 or 4 different groups of people, making up 12 to 15 people that I recognize either through church or through ministry or work or whatever it may be. So there are a lot of people at that game last night. A lot of Filipinos at that game last night. And I tweeted out a joke that I don't think there's been that many Filipinos in Rogers Arena since the Bruno Mars concert. I was pretty proud of that one. But yeah, obviously a lot of Filipinos came over from the Philippines, landed in Winnipeg, and some have made their way over to west to Vancouver. Some went east to Toronto, whatever it may be. But definitely, Winnipeg is a hot spot for Filipinos. I know that because my wife Gail, she's Chinese, but born and raised in the Philippines. So I know, and a lot of my friends and colleagues are Filipinos. So it's cool to see, that type of cultural diversity at the game last night. But not to make overstated or whatever, but you can certainly tell that there are more Filipinos there than I've seen at any other Canucks game. So that was kind of cool, and maybe that's why I knew so many people, because, like I said, so many of my colleagues and friends are of Filipino descent. Let's talk about the game itself. Hockey fights cancer. So I held out my sign. I tweeted out last night and actually got onto the Jumbotron. I was fighting for my friend Martin. He is a wonderful guy, young adult, who's my Sean and Jake and Kayla's bowling coach, actually, battling a rare form of leukemia. So Martin, praying for you, and we're praying for everyone who is dealing with cancer, battling cancer, has succumbed to cancer, or is dealing, with a loved one or journeying with a young one battling cancer. The game itself, wow, Winnipeg's good. I've mentioned this, we knew this, but I've said it before, I've said it again. They are a strong team. They are a favorite to win the Stanley Cup this season. Their top 6 is pretty crazy, with Laine, Scheifele, Wheeler, Lido, Ehlers, and Connor. On the back end, you have Trouba, Byfuglien, Morrissey, Myers, and then, of course, Connor Hellebuyck backstopping the team. And they look like a different... they look like they were in a different league, an elite team, different than the Canucks. And we knew that because at the end of the first period, the shots were 23-7 for Winnipeg. And the Canucks had 2 power plays in there, I think, in the first period, and Winnipeg had 1, at least 1, maybe 2 itself. But 23-7, thankfully, the shots did not end up 69-21, which would have been those totals extrapolated. But in the first 5, 6, 8, 10 minutes, the Jets were all over the Canucks, and they raced out that quick lead with Markstrom with that giveaway, and then Pettersson tied it up with his wicked one-timer right in front of me in section 319, and then Winnipeg still scored 2 more, so they were up 3-1 at the end of the first period. Say what you want about Markstrom's game. I would say of the 5 goals, right, even though the Canucks lost 6-3, one of them was an empty netter, Patrick Laine with the hat trick. It's kind of weird seeing the opposing team score a hat trick and people still throwing hats. I know a lot of Winnipeg Jets fans, but I don't know if Canucks fans do that too. Would you throw your hat if the opposing player got a hat trick? I know I wouldn't. I don't think I even throw my hat if my own guy got a hat trick, let alone someone from the other team. Anyways, Laine gets a hat trick on the empty net goal, on the 6th goal. But of the 5 that Markstrom let in, you could say 2 or 3 were his fault. Definitely the first one, and maybe the second one, the rebound wasn't great. And the third one, a great shot by Connor over his shoulder. Could he have stopped that? I don't know. So let's say 2 goals for sure that Markstrom could have stopped. But I'm not sure if I get everyone slamming Markstrom for his game, because for those 2 goals that he let in that maybe he shouldn't have, there are about 5, 6, 7, or 8 chances throughout the game that he made outstanding stops. You guys, that game could have easily been 5-1, 6-1 coming out of the first period, and that would have been crazy. The mood would have been horrible in the arena, but he held the team in it. They got a shot 23-7. It's not Markstrom's fault that the Jets got 23 shots. So to save 20 of those 23, that's actually pretty good. And I guess his save percentage was just under 900 for the day. But that's crazy. The chances that the Jets were getting, they were faster, they were bigger, they were hitting more, they make wonderful cross-ice passes, they make that extra pass, but not too many passes, always looking dangerous, cross-ice, whatever it may be. So 23-7 in the first period. Contrast that the Canucks where I think they have something against shooting from the slot. I saw Chris Tanev with a beautiful chance. It was 4-3 in the third with 6 minutes left. And Chris Tanev had a wonderful chance to shoot one from the slot after Goodobin and Pettersson and Virtanen gained the zone. And Tanev skated right through the slot without shooting, and he had a big gap there. And then, needless to say, a minute later, the Jets go down and they score a goal, their fifth goal. So, I think Goodobin passed up a good spot, a good chance to shoot from the slot as well. Although Goodobin had a very strong game, 1 goal, 1 assist. That goal was beautiful, that deke and tight. Pettersson had a great game. Looked dangerous again. A wicked slap shot on the power play from a feed from Ben Hutton for the second straight game. So that was good to see. And Tyler Mott with a nice shorty in the second period against the flow of the play, actually. The Jets were up 4-1 at that time. It could be a lot worse, but Mott scored to make it 4-2 on that nice short-handed goal. Even he was battling a bouncing puck the whole time. Then Godobin's goal made it 4-3. So it made for a very entertaining third period. So I thought Jacob Markstrom's game was okay. It wasn't awesome, obviously, but I don't think he was the reason why we lost. Goodobin showed some flashes up front. And one other guy I want to talk about is Sam Gagner. Actually, let's talk about Bo Horvat. 24 minutes of ice time. So Gagner's arrival didn't mean less ice time for Horvat, but it did mean maybe less face-off. But Horvat still went 70% in the face-off circle, which is amazing. And let's talk about Sam Gagner. I thought he acquitted himself very well. I thought he played very well for a first game in, is not like he hasn't been playing. He's been playing well with the Marlies, but he did not look out of place as well. He made some really good zone entries. He held the puck well, controlled the puck well, was on the first power play unit, wasn't credited with an assist, but he was right in the middle as Goodobin, Hutton, and Pettersson were passing the puck along the perimeter. So I think, like I said yesterday, I think if Gagner plays well and brings some veteran leadership, he could stick around with his team for a while, and I don't have any problem with that. His contract isn't that prohibitive, so I have no problem with Sam Gagner being on this team, especially with guys like Sutter, Beagle, Besser, and Berchi all out. And then one other thing, Darren Archibald got 2.5 minutes of ice time. He played, a couple shifts, 3 or 4 shifts in the first period, and then 1 4-second shift after that. So that was kind of a waste of a roster spot last night. And then Horvat wouldn't have had to play 24 minutes maybe if they gave Archibald more than 2.5 minutes. So, curious coaching decision. I'm not sure if Archibald was hurt or Green was mad at him or whatever it was. Didn't see a lot about that post-game. So, all in all, entertaining game at the arena. I was with my lovely wife, Gail. We were in my friend's seats. I sold my real seats. And then Sean and his girlfriend, Fernanda, were on the other end of the arena. And they happened to see, basically, of the 9 goals, I think we counted, they saw 7 of the 9 goals and their end of the arena. So overall, a fun time. We'd love to see the Canucks win, but didn't expect it given how strong Winnipeg's team is. All right, 3 other tidbits. We'll save the best one for last. So 2 coaching changes in the last 2 days in the NHL. Mike Yeo fired from St. Louis, and they named Craig Berube, former player, as the interim coach. And then that was last night. And then today, the Edmonton Oilers fired Todd McLellan, and they replaced him with Ken Hitchcock. So the ironic thing about these 2 coaching decisions, these 2 firings, is that Ken Hitchcock was the coach that Mike Yeo replaced in the middle of the 2017 season. So Yeo replaced Hitchcock. Yeo gets fired last night. McLellan gets fired today. Hitchcock replaces McLellan in Edmonton. So Hitchcock was only out of the game for about a year and a half or so. And it's kind of similar situations. Edmonton made the playoffs in 2017, and they had a disappointing season last season and started off poorly this season. Same thing. St. Louis made the playoffs in 2017 when Mike Yeo first went. They missed the playoffs by 1 point last year, right? They lost to Colorado on the last day. And then this season, they also had a horrible start. So, yep, a couple coaching changes in the span of 2 days, in the span of 12 to 14 hours of each other. Yeo's out, McLellan's out, Berube's in, and Ken Hitchcock is once again back in. So that means that Joe Quenneville, former coach of Chicago, and Alain Vigneault, a former coach of the Rangers, those are 2 guys that are still out there right now. Lastly, some good news. This afternoon I'll be buying my plane ticket to San Jose. You You might remember that I'm going to the NHL All-Star Game with my friend Father Harrison. We are going at the end of January, obviously, for that All-Star Game. Flights covered. Sorry, not flights. What am I talking about? Tickets to the game and the skills and the fan fest are covered. Hotel covered through generosity of Father Harrison and one of his colleagues. And all I had to do is pay for my flight. So I'm doing that today. But once I get this other piece of good news that I'm waiting for, that I've been hinting at for the last couple of weeks, I'll be able to explain why my flight is basically covered. So I don't want to say it's a free trip. I still got to pay for my food and stuff. You know, I take Father Harrison out for a drink or two, or he can drink beer. I'll just have my Pepsi and out for a couple meals to thank him. But in essence, it will be a free trip for me at the end of January, and I feel very grateful and very blessed to have that opportunity. So, yeah, buy my flights to San Jose. Been watching the seat sales, and now is a good time to pull the trigger. All right, Canucks fans, there's a lot there. Not so much about the my flight to San Jose for the All-Star Game. You can talk about the coaching changes if you want, but I'm really interested in your impressions of last night's game. Really, Jacob Markstrom's game, do you agree that he wasn't as bad as some people were saying? What did you think of Sam Gagner's game? How did he do in his first game back? Pettersson, Godobin, whoever you want to talk about, whatever you want to talk about. The Winnipeg Jets, how dangerous they are. And the Vancouver Canucks, despite losing 6 straight games, they are still in 3rd place in the Pacific Division. Granted, everyone below them has 1 or 2 or 3 games in hand, but we'll see how those games shake out before we make any bold proclamations of what place they're in. But as of right now, they're 3rd place in the Pacific, and now they do their annual California trip, a trip that used to be much tougher. They got, I can't remember the order, but it's LA, Anaheim, and San Jose. Obviously, those 3 teams. San Jose is the good team, LA and Anaheim not so good, but we shall see what happens. We'll know more by the end of this week. So the Canucks play 3 games in 4 nights. They go Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Then they return home for games next week against LA, and then the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm not going to the LA game, but I am going to the Vegas Golden Knights game. All right, Canucks fans, thanks again for watching. Leave a comment below. I'll read it. I'll react to it. I'll reply if I can. Otherwise, I always read them, though, and I love to hear what you guys are thinking. Love to see what you guys are thinking about the Vancouver Canucks and the state of the team right now. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Have a great day. Canucks back in action. They're traveling today, so no practice. Back in action tomorrow in California when they kick off their 3-game road trip. And I'm pretty sure they start their road trip off against the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Or they just call it the Anaheim Ducks now. They're playing against Anaheim. All right, have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.